Hi, you guys. It's Jennifer Allen. I'm delighted to be here with you, bringing you this 4-part winter wellness series. And today is part 1. Part 1 is going to focus on breathing that will help with our immunity. So this breath technique is the immune breathing lung strengthening sequence. And these are 3 yogic breaths that we are going to combine together to increase the capacity of our lungs. So during the winter, it's common to get respiratory illness, and we can use these breathing practices to strengthen our lungs. Not only are these breathing practices curative in nature, meaning help to restore lung function, they can also be used preventatively. So should you want to keep your lungs in a top condition, you can use these breaths to do so. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the 3 breaths. So we have the first breath. It's known as Bellows breath or Bellows breathing. And this is a breath that's good for strengthening both the inspiration and the expiration. Right, so the inhale and the exhale are both strengthened. You are fully contracting the diaphragm during this breath. A really interesting fact about this breath, there's a doctor in, I think Boulder, his name is Dr. John Douillard, and he has done a lot of studies on this Bellows breathing and in relationship to cardio functioning. And what he's found is this breath is just as effective as running in tests, right? So this breath is just as effective for lung capacity as running is. So I'm very excited to learn about this because I don't love running, and this breath is quite easy to do. So the first breath is Bellows breath. The second breath is called skull shining breath, and this focuses more on the exhalation. Okay, this sort of produces a diaphragmatic massage and is very good for the functioning of the diaphragm. All right, the third breath is known as Yogic Training breath, and this breath focuses on the inhale, the inspiration. Okay, and this breath has also been proven to produce athletic performance, right? So not only are these breath practices great for immunity and for recovery from respiratory illness, but they are also great for our athletic or cardio performance. So what I'd like to do is show you these 3 breaths separately, and then show you how we will combine them together, and then actually have a practice with you guys and show you how to do this breath work so you can add this into your daily life. Ideally, this breath practice, this breath sequence would be done 3 times a day. Okay, so the first breath is Bellows breath. You might want to have tissue handy for this if you're going to experiment with me during this video. So the first breath is Bellows breath. It is a forceful inhalation and exhalation, and it's quite rapid. It's through the nose, and I'll just demonstrate, okay? So we're going to start with an inhale, and we'll begin on the exhale. Okay, so you're breathing quite forcefully through the nose, both inhale and exhale. All right, so for the second breathing technique, the skull shining, the exhale is more forceful. You're drawing the belly back towards the spine, expelling or pressing out all the air, and then the inhale is a natural rebound, okay? So again, we'll inhale together, and then exhale forcefully through the nose. And you'll notice as I inhale, the belly sort of rebounds. Okay, so that is breath number 2, the skull shining. And then breath number 3, the yogic training breath. And for this breath, what we want to do is reduce the flow of air in through the nostrils. So we're taking the fingers, the first finger and the thumb, and actually applying some pressure on the nasal passages to restrict the flow about halfway. And we're breathing in through the nose, releasing the hand, and exhaling through clear nose. Okay, so this is really interesting, this third breath, this Ayurvedic or yogic training breath. When people are recovering from respiratory illnesses in hospitals, they actually have machines that will help assist this. So they're strengthening and building that inhale capacity. We can do that on our own by just blocking the flow of air halfway as we breathe in. Releasing. Okay, so again, we have 3 breaths. Bellows, which is forceful inhale and exhale. Skull shining, which is more of a forceful exhale, a natural rebounding inhale. And then the yogic training breath, which is a reduction of air as you breathe in. Okay, so what we're going to do is 10 counts of each, and that's 1 round. Okay, you can start with 1 round of this breath practice 3 times a day, working up to 3 rounds 3 times a day. Okay, I'm standing for this video, but you can do this either standing or seated. The thing that you want to keep in mind is when you're standing or seated, you want to lengthen through the sides of the waist, right? You want to allow space for deep breathing to occur. So we can just try opposite of that, which would be to kind of hunch and round through the shoulders. Let's try to take a deep breath. And you'll feel the constriction pretty, to be pretty evident. Then lengthen up through the sides of the waist, up through the crown of the head, and try to take a deep breath now. Much easier, just by creating space. So if breath work is very new to you, or you're very uncertain about this, or maybe you have some pre-existing conditions and you'd like to speak with your doctor first, I do encourage you to do that. Please check with your doctor before you engage in any new techniques or exercises. But one of the very first things that you can do to increase your breathing is just to have a tall posture, have a nice tall spine. When you have a lot of room through the sides of the waist for the diaphragm, lungs to expand and contract. Okay, so maybe you're just going to practice good posture while we do this breathing technique, or maybe you want to join in with us. Okay, so find that comfortable seat or that comfortable standing position. Lengthen up through the sides of the waist, through the top of the head. Let's inhale together. Exhale, begin bellows breath. Good. Inhale again. We'll begin skull shining. Moving on to yogic training breath. After your 10th breath, release the hands alongside the body or place them gently in the lap if you're seated. And let's practice again, noticing any change or quality in the depth of the breath, or even in the ease of the breath. And for me, I noticed quite an ease of breath and an increased capacity for breathing. So I'm happy to conclude part 1 of our winter wellness series. I look forward to seeing you for part 2 when we move into a sequence, a seated yoga sequence for immunity. I look forward to seeing you on our next video. I hope you have a wonderful day and enjoy the breath practices. Have fun, stay curious, and again, consult your doctor if breath work and exercise is new to you. I'll see you for part 2.